out of the 36 questions.
Since JEE Advanced exam is very near to us,
You will only be focusing on those topics.
individual subjects have their cutoffs as well,
Categories. One is the easy, medium that you have already studied.
making to crack it. The criteria to crack JEE Advanced is not to score 70% marks or 80% marks. It's just merely 30 to 35% marks. So even you are securing 30 to 35% marks. But one important thing I want to mention over here, that individual subjects have their cutoffs as well. So even you are clearing the individual subject cutoff, which is very small, I say so, not very huge in terms of the percentage of the marks. But if you are scoring at least 30 to 35% of the marks in the JEE Advanced, you are making to crack it. So let's proceed with the important topics for last few days that you should always revise before attempting the paper. So the first thing I'm going to proceed with that for the topics is class 11th and the class 12. In class 11 people, as you can see, we have studied many chapters. It was a basic because whatever you have applied in class 12, that came from the basic of 11th only. So one of the most important part is mechanics. One more thing I wanted to mention over here, physics is interrelated. As you can go for any chapter, it is always interrelated, but we really have some few isolated topics that you can really score much, and those isolated topics are connected to chemistry as well. So for the 11th, if I say so, mechanics, yes, mechanics is the building block. You cannot actually survive with the mechanics. In mechanics, you may start with again kinematics, going for the NLM, going for the work power energy, then circular. So these are the basics. Are these very important? Yes, they are. Because if you're not really having a good hold over work power energy, let's say, or you're not having a good hold over circular motion, then that's gonna haunt you in other chapters as well. Like example in 12th, if you go, electrostatics chapter, suppose you are going, in capacitor chapters you are going. So if you have not studied work power energy part very well in the class 11, you may not be able to attend many questions of energy in class 12 chapters as well. So important wise, if I say so for mechanics in class 11, you cannot skip work power energy as well as circular motion. And apart from circular, center mass and collision is also very important. And this is just for last few days I'm saying so, which you should at least give a good look upon, because if you're not giving at least a good look upon these one, good look upon means I'm not asking you to solve questions, I'm just asking you to go forward for the formulas and the regular thing for the short notes you must have made while studying in 11th and 12th. So for mechanics part, work power energy, circular and collision is very important, because these will be again connected to many other chapters of 11th as well as 12th. After that mechanics, if I go for, that will be heat and thermodynamics. If you have seen the chemistry one, Vijay sir has already told you about the thermodynamics. Because if you see that from heat and thermodynamics, averagely they are asking 3 to 4 questions. Can you believe? 3 to 4 questions every year, averagely they are asking from heat and thermodynamics, from physics part only. And if you connect the chemistry ones, so averagely 5 to 6 questions. So approximately 6 questions per year they are asking from only one topic, that is heat and thermodynamics. One important part over here as well, that it is an isolated topic. You may not find many other concepts or other chapters connected over here. So after going to mechanics, the next thing you should go for is directly heat and thermodynamics. For the rotation motion of sense, I think so, since it's the last days, if you are really good hold over the rotation motion, RBD, that's really good. But if you're not studied it really well, not practiced it really well, I recommend you to leave that for a moment, because sometimes the questions they ask in the rotation motion part in JEE Advanced, that's very tough. And those who have actually practiced it, those who really have good hold over concepts, they are the only one who can attempt the part of rigid body dynamics or the rotation motion. So in my sense, for the mechanics, if you just do that, and after that you do the heat and thermodynamics part, that will be really good deal. Because from heat and thermodynamics, at least 3 to 4 questions. If you ask for these 3 chapters of mechanics, at least 2 to 3 questions they are asking people. Next thing I really want to go for is units and measurement. Sir, is it very important? Yes, my dear students, if you see the past year questions, averagely 1 question per year they're asking. So only 1 question, so it's not very important. My dear students, very important, because the cost of time it is taking to revise the units and measurement, or the cost of investment which we are giving for the time for units and measurement is far less in comparison to any other chapter, people. So for units and measurement, the question gonna be average. I may not say easy because it's a JEE Advanced paper, but it will not be of that toughness level which other chapters are asking for. So at least 1 question from units and measurement you can expect as well. Okay, so after that, very small topics like properties of matter we have. It's very important, again, at least 1 question they're gonna ask. So you just have to give a good look on. But at least these chapter of mechanics and heat and thermodynamics, you cannot skip, people. One other chapter I want to mention over here is gravitation. At least one question they're asking averagely from that as well. But I'm going to take gravitation along with electrostatics of class 12. So let's proceed with the class 12 topics now. The class 12 sense of view, people. The very first thing, electrostats, capacitance plus current electricity. Since the concepts are interrelated over here, and you can see the things are going very well if you have studied really good electrostats, you may be able to understand capacitors very well. Although current electricity is having some concepts on the first and second chapter, but is again isolated. You must have studied this chapter already in the previous classes as well. So if I say, so out of these three topics, combinedly, at least 3 to 4 questions they are asking people. Then you are saying, sir, it will take a lot of time to study these 3 chapters. Yes, my dear students, especially the electrostatics part. It is a very lengthy part. So even the same 3 to 4 questions you are scoring from heat and thermodynamics, it's so small to study, and it is also directly connected to chemistry. So can you see that cost of time you have to invest for the heat and thermodynamics is as equal to cost of time investing in electrostatics, capacitors, and current electricity. But they are very important for class 12 point of view. Sir, can you tell us any topic of 12 which we can just revise in last 3 to 4 days and still may be able to secure as equal marks as electrostats or these kind of things? Yes, there's one topic, and I think you must know that is modern physics. So modern physics part is again very, very important. Modern physics part, it's not only important for physics point of view. You must have studied atomic structure part in class 12th or 11th in chemistry. That is also the same thing which we will be studying or have studied in modern physics. So from my point of view, modern physics, at least 3 to 4 questions they are asking. So I've just told you those topics, at least from there asked 3 to 4 questions, people. So modern physics, again, very easy, very small part, and you've studied the same part in chemistry as well. So I guess so this would be one of the topic which you're going to take least time to revise. So in these last 4 to 5 days, at least these are the chapters. I'm not again asking you to do any questions for practice. I'm just asking you to give a good look upon the notes you have made. Just give a good look upon those notes, or some concepts you have written. Okay, this is very important. You just have a good look upon them, as well as the formulas, people. And soon I'm going to take you that what is the pattern of the paper, and there I'm going to teach you that why I'm just again focusing again and again on the formulas over here. So for the modern physics, at least 3 to 4 questions they're asking per year. Then I'll proceed with the optics part. In optics also, especially the ray optics, not more than 10 to 12 formulas are there in the complete chapter of ray optics, people. Not more than 10 to 12. And in those, if you are taking it completely, you will be able to secure maximum marks in your paper, people. So in ray optics, at least 2 to 3 questions, averagely they are asked in past 3 to 4 years. So at least 2 to 3 questions they have asked from this topic as well. So can you see, people, if you have just revised the basic concepts like lens maker formula is there. Okay, reflection curved surface is also there. Like mirror part they used to ask before, but nowadays they are not making the paper so easy that they can only give the mirror part over there and I ask you the question. No, they are not, my dear students. So what is they are doing? They are actually taking the questions on lenses more and more, curved surfaces more and more, lens maker formula is more and more. They're combining the lenses, they're combining the mirror and the lenses. In the spherical cases, they are giving the prism questions more and more. So those are the questions you should focus upon. So I guess we have practiced the ray optics very well. Also, you have studied this topic in class 10th as well. So this must have built your basic a lot. So if you ask me, these are the topics, at least for these last few days, you should give a good look upon. If you're not even studied really well and you're giving good look upon these to have a good concepts, you may be able to clear the JEE. And to clear or to crack the JEE is not a very tough task. At least 30 to 35% you should get in terms of the marks percentage. And if you have done that, only these topics, people, at least 40 to 45% marks you're going to score. Can you see, only out of these chapters only, you're going to secure at least 40 to 45%. And that's above the line to clear JEE Advanced. So believe me, people, these are only things, especially if I take modern physics, I take ray optics, not very many formulas are there from these chapters. Yes, from this part of electrostatics, there are many formulas, but again, that's part of important. If you ask me mechanics, how many formulas are there in mechanics? I don't think so many. In work energy, if you count single digit number of formulas, if you ask in center mass collision circular, only single digit number of formulas are there. Don't have to revise as many times. So very less number of formulas, but from conceptual point of view, people, it's very, very important. Next thing again, I have repeated the heat and thermodynamics, some few formulas are there. In heat and thermodynamics, especially in thermodynamics, people just give a good look upon the graphs. They have been asking the questions. So this was the part for the topics. You should at least see for the last few days or 3 to 4 days are left. So you should at least see these part of the topics before going to attempt the paper, people. Now, next part would be how to actually see the paper, what type of patterns of the question they are giving over there. Before proceeding to that, I want to just actually make a clarification. Like you have just given your two papers of JEE Mains, attempt 1 and attempt 2. So most of you, maybe those who are giving the paper JEE Advanced paper for the first time, those used to think that, so JEE Mains we have given and we have secured decent marks. So is it the paper pattern, is it the thought process of JEE Mains which we have kept? Is it with the same thought process we are going to keep for JEE Advanced as well? My dear student, no. That's not the part, because JEE Mains actually used to test about your calculation. They used to actually test about your how many formulas you remember, and that's actually directly application based question they used to ask in JEE Mains. But believe me, it will not be happening for JEE Advanced. Let me give you just an example of a question I'm going to take over here. Like let's take example. If I give an inclined plane, and there are two rails on an inclined plane, there's an angle theta, and there's a rod over here, placed over here, people. And if I leave the rod, there's a frictionless surface for a moment, let's say, or you can consider a friction. For a moment, they can ask you, okay, after time equal to 3 seconds, what is the velocity of the rod, as also calculate the EMF induced. They will be giving you the length of the rod as well. So after 3 seconds, when this will be sliding down, what is the EMF induced across the ends of the rod? That's the question they generally ask in the average or tougher side of the JEE Mains. But believe me, similar kind of question they're going to ask in JEE Advanced. They will be going to, yes, give you the magnetic field. Let's say the magnetic field is up. Now it will be sliding down. Now, if this could be a JEE Advanced question, they will be generally ask you what is the velocity as a function of time. They will be just putting you an equation, a velocity as a function of time. There will be some variable to the power of something. That power they may be asking what is the value of this n to the power something. So that power, what is the value? Or they may be asking what is the EMF as a function of time. They will be giving you the equation of EMF as a function of time. Also, if you want to make it a little tougher side of rotation, they'll give you the rod radius r. At the end, they will be going to ask you what is the omega as well. What is the conservation of energy you're going to use over here? So they're going to include the rotation motion concepts as well, people, students over here. So that's the part which they include for the JEE Advanced. Actually, the question is not very tough, but what they are doing, they're actually taking many concepts from other chapters, like they've included mechanics over here, they've included the electromagnetic induction over here, they've included many concepts, even the magnetic effect of current they have included over here, and that will be also experiencing the magnetic force, I guess. That will be going down, having the current going, so it will be experiencing magnetic force also. So it has included 4 to 5 chapters together to put a single question in front of you people. So can you see? Actually, the concepts from those chapters are very easy to put, but you have to actually memorize concept from every chapter and put it over there. So it is the logical reasoning you have to use, you have to apply in the paper for JEE Advanced. It is not simply as for the JEE Mains that you are seeing a question, applying a formula and getting an answer. There will be rarely very questions in the JEE Advanced. Very rarely there are some questions in JEE Advanced. Although it's a compulsion for JEE Advanced people also that they will putting at least 1-2 questions for the easy perspective where you can just put the formula and get the answer. But very rarely it will be happening. From JEE Advanced point of view, you have to gather many concepts from other chapters, put it over there, then calculate and get the answer, people. So it is the same pattern which the JEE Advanced been following since many decades, people. And I think so you can just see the very difference between JEE Mains and JEE Advanced kind of pattern. Next thing I want to say that generally in JEE Advanced, the first thing would be memory-based questions. In memory-based also, people, it means the knowledge you have. Memory-based question actually sees the knowledge you have, people. But knowledge is again a part. It will not be complete thing. So knowledge-based questions will again theoretical. They could be theoretical in nature, people. They could be analytical, as well as some comprehension-based questions they are also giving people. Comprehension-based questions they are also giving. So in theoretical, just there won't be much calculation. Conceptual, I would say so. If you are really good concepts over there, you have to gather concepts from the chapters, put it over the question, you get the answer. And analytical, there will be some good calculations. JEE Advanced has been, it is really famous for giving sometimes questions, especially in mathematics point of view. Whenever you see the mathematics paper, they are sometimes giving very tough calculations. So if you really calculated the things, if you really practiced it for 2 years without using calculator, you would be the one to ace the analytical part over here. Next will be the comprehension. Why I have taken comprehension differently? Because they will give you a comprehension, and on based on that comprehension, maybe 2 questions or 3 questions are based. And every question is directly, whenever you're reading, suppose the first question, you just solve it, and then again you have to read the comprehension. In comprehension, you have 7 to 8 lines paragraph sometimes. So it's very hard to just grasp the knowledge from 7 to 8 lines and understand it and just retain it and again attempt the question. So sometimes you have to repeat and you have to read again and again the comprehension. So my best strategy, especially for comprehension, that attempt the first question after reading the comprehension again. Then for the second question, again read the comprehension from the first word to the last word again, and similar thing for the third question as well. So what are the number of questions they are doing for comprehension? It won't be very tough, Yes, you have to use many concepts from other portions of the throughout the subject, maybe. But yes, one more thing I want to mention. Sometimes in physics they give sometimes very difficult integration, which you can only do which you have if you have practiced that in mathematics as well. So physics is, although physics you are using concept, but sometimes the mathematics they are asking is of mathematics JEE level as well. So this is the pattern for memory based question, students. Second pattern I want to say that it will be logical based. So that's something now which will differentiate you with other students. Logic is something, so like whenever the question you used to do in the suppose when you were giving mock tests, when you were solving that in paper, or you have been solving that in classes while taking lectures. Whenever you used to solve the questions, most of the students what they have a hurry of getting the answer. That this is the question, okay, what we can do and we can get the answer. As soon as you get the answer, you become happy. Okay, I've got the answer, now I can do the JEE Advanced. Believe me, students, I have seen 1,000 students. They have been doing these things, but they are not able to get good score in JEE Advanced. Although they were very good to take the answer, they were very good to do the questions, they were very good to do the homework, but still they were not very good to get the same kind of answers in your JEE Advanced paper. Reason, because when you are getting an answer from a method, you should also think by how many other methods I can get the answer. Because in physics generally, to get the answer from a question, we have many methods possible. Sometimes in a question, suppose I want you to calculate the velocity of a body when it is dropped from a height. What is the velocity it is getting when it is reaching the earth? Sometimes when you use the equation of motion. But can that question be done by using gravitation chapter concepts also? By using gravitation potential? Yes. I can even use the work boundary chapter also. Even I can use the SHM concepts also over there. So to get an answer for the same question, you can actually think. If you are really serious about JEE Advanced, you would have think that how many types I can get the same answer from other methods. Sometimes I have seen students using mathematics also, pure mathematics without using much physics, they are getting the answer. So that is actually what is meant by logical based thinking. This is something which every student can have. But this is a thing which will differentiate the topper students with the average or the below average students people. So if you have the really logical based thinking, because logical based thinking sometimes make your question so small. If you are going from a contemporary method, your answer may be coming from a very big method. It may take you 10 minutes to solve, 15 minutes to solve sometimes. But if you are sometimes really going for logical based question, that's a real science. If you're going for logical based question, the same answer we can really get under 30 seconds sometimes. I've seen students doing it under 1 minute. So you can save a lot of time, and that time gonna actually help you in coming questions as well. Third thing I want to say for types of question would be experimental based and practical physics. So experimental based and practical physics questions are the one where you have to actually put into the shoes of a person who is doing the experiment. Again, recall, suppose you have to just close your eyes for a moment. Think that, okay, if you are doing that experiment, okay, suppose for a moment you are doing the experiment of rheostat. Then you have to imagine, okay, I am having rheostat and now I'm moving a jockey, or you are having a question of Wheatstone meter bridge and moving a jockey to the left, and due to the motion of jockey to the left, what is the ratio of the resistance coming over there? Is it a balanced Wheatstone bridge or not? And if it is unbalanced, current is flowing from where to where? Which wire of section is having more potential difference? Which wire of section is having lesser potential difference? That's kind of thing you should think by closing eyes for in the paper. And that is what meant by experimental and practical based question. They may be giving questions on vernier caliper, on the screw gauge. So those are things you should just understand in your brain. You don't have the apparatus in your hand, but you have to think. You have to analyze if you would have the apparatus in your hand, what you could have done whenever you are sitting at the chair. So these are the three general patterns I have observed since past years. Here, first or third section is common for every student, but the second section especially is really for that student who not only focuses on getting the answer, but he also focuses on that why the answer is coming from this method. Is there any other possible method to get the answer or not? That's what differentiates other students with the toppers people. So that's the type of question general JEE gives. Then you say, sir, what are like those types of questions like multiple choice? They are again comprehension based, single choice, integer based. That's the pattern which is available on JEE website. This is a pattern available in the past year questions also. You can see that. But that's actually the classification. You must have not thought about it. Especially the JEE Advanced. Nobody can anticipate how many questions they are going to give for multiple choice. How many questions they are going to give for single choice or the integer base or the comprehension base. Or there could be matrix match questions sometimes. So you just have to actually, based on the paper what you are getting, use your analytical capability. Please improve your calculations. If you have not stopped doing the calculator thing, now you don't have much time left, but start still. If you are just practicing some mock test, throw the calculator away, do the questions by hand, and I think so you'll just do fine. So please do not focus on securing 100% marks. and you just focus on the type of chapters I told you. If you haven't done those chapters, the question is not very hard. If I show you those chapters, people, from these chapters, especially the modern physics, heat and thermodynamics, this mechanics, or the ray optics, the level of question they cannot increase beyond a level. So definitely, if you can just concentrate on that part, average and below average question, if you are focusing on the JEE Advanced paper without even touching the above average or hard questions, you will be going to clear the JEE Advanced.
Hello students. So let us start the subject-wise strategy and the plans, what you are going to do and what you shouldn't do. So I will divide it into two parts. I will first let you know everything about chemistry, that what you should do and what you shouldn't for the chemistry. So one part of the strategy will be, we'll know how to attempt the questions in chemistry, and the second thing that I am going to tell you is how to attempt the whole test paper. Okay. So that will be the last part, but before that, let us first see that what to do in chemistry. First of all, I will let you know that this is JEE Advanced, and I should not say that this topic is more important. You will be getting more questions from so and so topic, and you will be getting less questions from a particular topic. I would not go for this because JEE Advanced may include multiple concepts from multiple chapters within a single question, and they may give you a very big question in which they have taken various topics into account. So still, I would like to let you know about some parts of PC, OC and IOC that you can especially focus on. But before we start the topic-wise analysis and everything, I would again like to let you know that this exam is less about knowledge and it is more about to show your knowledge that you already have. They are not checking that how much knowledge you have, they are checking that whatever knowledge you have, how much you are able to showcase it, how much you are able to score out of it. So this exam is more about the intelligence, less about the knowledge, I would say that. So it is aptitude based exam. You need to keep, I would say you need to keep the things that you know very clear instead of going for 100% syllabus. So first of all, if you are not completely prepared, you should leave the idea of completing the whole 100% syllabus. I would not suggest you to go for whole 100% syllabus if you are not targeting for AIR 1 or within top 10 AIR or within top 100 AIR, right? Now, I would talk about the next category of the students. If you are targeting for 70%, if you are targeting for 50%, and if you are targeting for 30%. We all should know that which category we really do belong to. If you are the student who is targeting only 30%, for example, in PC, if I talk about thermodynamics, then it is observed that in past 3 years, they have been asking the questions from thermodynamics like work calculation and from isothermal processes, or from the second part of thermodynamics where we talk about entropy and all. So thermodynamics, and one more chapter I will let you know, that is atomic structure, right? If you are focusing on these two chapters, then you are being prepared for the modern physics part also from atomic structure, right? And from thermodynamics, you again have topics into physics, right? So thermodynamics and atomic structure are not just preparing you for the PC, they are also preparing you for physics, right? Apart from them, there are a few more chapters in physical chemistry which will help you a lot. Like if I talk about solutions, you will get almost every year you will find at least one question from solutions. And the next topic that I will ask you to focus on is kinetics. If your kinetics is well prepared, then I would again say your radioactivity is also prepared. And if radioactivity is prepared, again you are having one more chapter in your bucket from the modern physics, right? Because in modern physics also, there are questions which may be asked from radioactivity, right? So these 4 topics I will suggest you to essentially go for. And mole concept is nothing new. You should know that mole concept is very important and its applications are found everywhere. So these 4 to 5 topics I will suggest you must go through them if you are just targeting for 30%. If you talk about organic chemistry, then in organic chemistry, this is a huge ocean of the knowledge, I would say, and there is no specific topic I may tell you that from this particular question will be coming, because there is a series of question. They make a whole series of reactions in which in one part they may be putting 4 different reactions. In second part, they give the questions like this, that from P you will be getting Q, then from Q you will be getting R, then from R you will be getting S, and in first part only they may be including various reactions, right? So like this, it is highly possible that within a question they complete almost 50 to 60% organic chemistry. It is observed sometimes, right? So there is no such a specific topic which will be definitely guaranteed that you will be getting questions, but still if you are belonging to that 30% category part, then I would tell you a few topics like GOC. There have been direct questions from GOC. In GOC, especially in acidic and basic strength, they have been given questions, and we have seen that they are direct questions. Sometimes when we practice the questions from acidic and basic strength, some are already on our fingertips. We know the answers directly, right? So they may help you to gain the quick marks. From isomerism, they have given questions and direct questions. Many a times from stereoisomerism, we have observed direct questions. They link such questions with the halogen derivatives chapter also, where they may be asking you the number of possible monochloro derivatives, right, on the basis of, by including stereoisomerism and alkyl halides chapter together. And apart from then, there are some basic questions that you may do from the stability of intermediates, which is again the part of GOC. Like addition reactions you may do very easily. You may do substitution reaction very easily if GOC part is strong, right? So this is the second part that I will ask you to specially focus on. It is still, I am telling you, you need to be flexible. These are not the only topics that you should focus on. You will have to be flexible if your preparation is in some other topics also. Then definitely we should go for them also. We should not leave them. Similarly, if you talk about IOC, then I will mandatorily suggest you coordination compounds. They have been giving the lot of questions every year from coordination compounds, and in coordination also, especially I will ask you to focus on CFT, VBT, and synergic bonding, and isomerism they have been asking questions on. So that is in coordination compounds. If you talk about block chemistry, then I will suggest you to go for block chemistry from only NCERT. We need not to go anywhere else. Yes, JEE Advanced has asked questions apart from NCERT also in the block chemistry, but if we are just targeting 30 to 40%, we should not go for too much. We should be master at what we know. Instead of we should go for lot more topics, right? Apart from that, after coordination and block chemistry, metallurgy. In the metallurgy, you may especially focus on, because if you are targeting only 30%, you may just focus on names of ores, or I will just write ores and the general processes, because general processes cover many separate metallurgies also, right? That is the second thing. If you talk about addition and if you talk about further topics in this, there may be you may be taking some more topics like salt analysis. But salt analysis, I will suggest you, there is a huge part of this which is involved in JEE Advanced, especially in organic chemistry part. So what you can do is, you should just refer lab manual, and that will help you a lot. So this is the strategy if you are just targeting 30%. And if you are targeting 50%, then there will just be addition of a few topics. Like if you talk about physical chemistry, you must be seeing over there, I have not included electrochemistry here, right? So now let us talk about this particular topic, this particular category of 50%, and what other topics may be added. So if you are targeting that 50% category and you are in very good condition, that sir, I scored in my JEE mains around 60 to 70% marks, and I may expect around 50% in JEE Advanced, then you may add a few more topics to your bucket like electrochemistry. Now, why I didn't include electrochemistry previously, there is a reason behind that. This topic is very well connected to two more topics of physical chemistry that I will let you know over here. One is redox. If they are asking the questions from Faraday's law and electrolysis, it is highly related to redox, right, and n-factor calculations. And there is one more topic, very famous topic, that is ionic equilibrium. So if they are asking the question from electrochemistry, then it is highly possible that they will be including ionic equilibrium, or they may be including redox in it. So if you are targeting electro, then you should be well practiced with the I would say the joined question or the conjunction of electro and ionic both, right? Ionic equilibrium is that part in which they have asked questions by merging it with either electrochemistry or some concepts of thermodynamics. Like that, they do it. And from chemical equilibrium, it is less prone that they will be asking many questions directly. They have not asked much questions directly. In the equilibrium part, it is only ionic equilibrium from where most of the questions are observed. So that is for 50% category targeting students. In organic chemistry, you may add to your bucket aromatic compounds, the reactions of aromatic compounds, nitration, sulfonation of benzene, Friedel-Crafts, acylation, alkylation. Those reactions you should be well practiced with. Apart from them, there are name reactions, aldol, Cannizzaro, right? You should know about them. Especially aldol reaction, haloform reaction, and Cannizzaro, you may say. And tests, you should include tests also, right? So these are from the name reaction topic. Similarly, if you talk about some more topics in the organic chemistry, then you should add polymers also to your bucket. I would also say biomolecules, but I am keeping it for 70%. If you think that you have studied biomolecules a bit for JEE Mains, then you can comfortably add even biomolecules over here. You may add biomolecules, and for biomolecules and polymers, I would suggest you, for polymers, every teacher, wherever you have studied, every teacher gives a list of monomers from which a particular polymer is formed, right? Wherever you have studied. So please go through that, because it is highly possible that you will be getting question directly from that if a question is coming from polymers. Talking about inorganic chemistry, I have already written the topics which are important. Apart from them, there is not very special topics, just the depth of these topics may be increasing. Like for block chemistry, I will again suggest you just NCERT. For metallurgy, you should include a few more individual metallurgies also. Individual metallurgies like that of iron, that of copper, right? That of gold, that of tin, you may include over here. In salt analysis, you will have to go through the tables in depth. Apart from lab manual, I will now say that you should have in-depth knowledge of that table that we give in cationic part analysis and all that. So this is the thing. Apart from that, I have not written chemical bonding over here, if you will pay attention, and most of the times everywhere you see chemical bonding is the most important. I have not written that because when you talk about coordination chemistry, VBT, and if you talk about VBT, basically it is the extended version of chemical bonding only. That's why I did not write. And again, even if you are in 30%, I am assuming that you know basic concepts of chemical bonding, and you should especially focus on a few topics from chemical bonding like VBT again, VSEPR theory. You should know about dipole moment, and at the ending I will tell you about MOT, right? These are the essential topics from chemical bonding. And block chemistry, again I would suggest you just the NCERT, and that may help you again to reach around 50%. If you are targeting for 70%, then my friends, you will have to go with every topic that has been taught to you and in depth, right? If you are targeting around 70%, because that means you are targeting top within top 50 or top 100, you are targeting your rank in India, right? And that is essential for you then to know the depth knowledge of every topic. So this is subject wise for chemistry. Now if I talk about this particular part right now, how to attempt, this is more important at this point of time. I am again telling you, this analysis is just to help you a bit. This is not strict, and it is not that you should only study these topics, nothing like that. I would suggest you again to be flexible with your plans, and whatever topic you have been preparing, that should be very well prepared. These should not be included. If any of these topics you have not studied till now, don't include into your bucket. There is nothing new which is required right now. Keeping all these topics in mind, I will tell you this very essential part. If anything which is in these topics and you have not studied, don't touch that right now. Okay? Nothing new. You need to keep in mind. You will not study anything, any new topic that you haven't studied even once, right? You will only be focusing on those topics that you have already studied and you have a little bit command and you just need a good command, right? You will just revise their formulae. Even you don't need to invest too much time in a particular topic, because every question from every topic will just give you either 3 marks or 4 marks. It is not going to decide the whole test paper, right? So that is the thing. And now let us talk about how to attempt the paper. I will give you a bit idea about it, how to attempt the test paper. There can be 2 strategies, but before talking about 2 strategies of attempting paper, let me talk about pattern. First question that students ask, sir, what will be the pattern? Like JEE Mains, I knew that first 20 questions will be single correct, and then I will be getting next 10 questions from the integer type, and I will have to just do 5. It is not fixed in JEE Advanced, you know this, and every year they surprise with the pattern within the exam. So first thing that you should follow is read the instructions carefully. There is nothing special that I will tell you about pattern except read the instructions. In the instructions, if it is single correct, that is the most favorite for students. Second type, that is multiple correct, in which they offer the partial marking. If there are 3 options correct and if you have just chosen 1 correct, you will be getting 1 mark. If you have chosen 2 correct, you will be getting 2 marks. If you have chosen all 3 correct, you will be getting plus 4 marks. But if you have chosen even a single incorrect, you will be getting negative 2 marks, right? So partial marking questions, if they are coming, I call them as a bonus point for a student if they are intelligently doing them and not taking the risk of attempting something which they don't know, right? So you should not tick mark that question that you are not sure about. You should not be in the greed of getting more marks. Instead of that, in the partial marking, you may just attempt that one that you know will surely be correct, right? Apart from that, we should definitely avoid guessing the answers, because again, I just told you, even if you are getting 30 to 40% marks, you are going to be an IITian, and you should not think that I will just guess this question and I will get 4 more marks. Instead of that, you should know that if I will guess it and if I get 4 less marks, then that may land you in some normal college apart from IIT, right? So you should know this, that 4 marks matter a lot. Even 2 marks matter a lot in JEE Advanced, and we should not be taking risks. That is the best thing that you should know. My strategy may be like this, that first favorite subject I will attempt, right? Whatever subject I like, I will attempt that first, whatever I think that can also be done. Like favorite subject, I may say. And here what second strategy students have generally followed is, first they do what they know. First do what you know. In this, they don't go subject wise, because it is not a subjective paper in your hands and you may quickly look at what I can do and what you cannot. It is an online paper, right? And you will have to follow that whatever is coming in front of you. If you are able to solve it within a few seconds, then fine. That is this strategy. If you are able to solve it within a few seconds, if you think that this particular topic you have command on, then you can choose to attempt that question, and later you may move ahead to next question. Like that, you may keep moving ahead and attempt the paper within one go, and within first 1 hour you may be choosing around, suppose the questions are 54. Generally this is the trend, sometimes total 54 questions, sometimes 60 questions, that is 18, 18, 18, sometimes they do like this, sometimes they do 20, 20, 20. It may be varying. Apart from this also they may be giving, but suppose I am guessing that they are giving on this pattern, 18, 18, 18. Then you may choose that within first hour of the test paper, you may choose to do just the 20 questions that you could quickly do. And trust me, if you have done just the 20 questions within first 1 hour, you are going to be an IITian, because you are getting around 30% marks, right? After this, you may choose to do what you need time, but you will be able to do it. The basis of past papers, you should try to go for chemistry first, because it will be solved within 40 to 45 minutes. It should be solved within 40 to 45 minutes, and it will be giving you a lot of marks. It will save your time for mathematics and physics. As usually we have seen that there is a lot of time required for mathematics and then physics, right? So you should go for chemistry. Second, you may choose anything out of maths and physics. That is your personal choice. Even for chemistry, that is your personal choice. But it is just on the basis of observation, what we have seen, that if you are attempting chemistry first, then it saves your time and it is quite scoring also, right? So these are the strategies. Again, if you think that no sir, nothing works for me, I will first attempt 5 favorite questions from physics and then I will go for all the test paper to see that whatever suits to me, I will do that. You can do that. And again, you need to keep in mind that it is highly possible that first 3 questions of your favorite topic or favorite subject may be continuously difficult, so you need not to let your morale go down, you need not to feel that what will happen now. Instead of that, just keep digging in for that question that you are able to solve within a few seconds or within a minute, right? So we should not get demotivated after seeing a series of tougher questions, because this is JEE Advanced and they definitely do play like this also. Instead of this test paper cannot be 100% difficult for every student, right? It varies from student to student, and there may definitely be some questions that will be made for you, right? So you should keep this in mind. And for chemistry also, I have told you, but keep in mind again, no new topic, and whatever you know, just revise quick formulae of that, and strategy, you may follow anything, but again, it varies from student to student. So be flexible and be alert during exam.
Hello dear students, welcome to the session. Guys, as we all are aware that the mathematics paper for the advanced point of view is going to be for tougher side, and we have observed from past 3 to 4 years, we have observed it is not to the simpler side, it is to the tougher side only, guys. Okay, but again I just want to tell you, it's not like that. All the questions of the math section are going to be typical for you and very tough side. Okay, if we categorize the all the questions of the math section, we can categorize in 3 categories. One is the easy, medium and tough side. Okay, so if I talk about key questions can be of in 3 category, I'm just going to divide it: easy, medium and next one is tougher side, guys. If I take the analysis of any 1 year paper, okay, in general I'm doing the discussion with all of you. Suppose in general, as we know, for every subject they are generally asking 18 to 20 questions, keep on varying, but in general from every subject they are asking 18 questions. So suppose if I'm taking the 18 plus 18, total 36 questions like that, beta. So you will see out of the 36 questions, okay, if I observe the 2020 or 21 paper pattern actually, so there were 8 to 10 questions were there. You can see 8 to 9 questions were there out of the 36. Those you can keep in the easy category, and guys, that one is the very important section. The student has to attempt this section, and from this section only we can score in maths paper only, bachcho. After it, if I come to the medium next category of the questions, actually medium type. So in medium category I can keep as around 18 to 20 questions, around I'm keeping 20 questions. So 20 questions are there which are to the medium side, means you can see, okay, the category of the easy as well as to the medium. Okay, and if I talk about the rest of the question, definitely 7 to 8 questions again, keep on varying, guys. 7 to 8 questions are really very tough. Okay, so in exam no need to attempt those questions, guys. Okay, we have to leave those questions, okay, due to the constraint of the time, and simply they are going to waste your time only, bacho. Okay, if you are not confident in all the concepts. Okay, those questions especially are the rank decider questions, and especially for those students who targeted AIR in 1 to 10 or in 100 only, like that. Okay, so in that manner we can divide our math section also, beta. So suppose you have to attempt the math section, guys. First, make in your mind कि I'm not going to attempt all the 18 question of the maths. Okay, suppose in 60 to 70 minutes, you have to attempt all the questions of the maths. First, make it in your mind कि I have to attempt only 50% questions of the math section. Okay, not all the questions I have to attempt. And out of the 50%, okay, suppose I have to attempt out of the 18, 8 to 9 questions. So definitely the time which we have allotted for per question is going to increase for us. Means definitely we will emphasis on particular question. Okay, you can give more time for a particular question, and whatever with the knowledge you have regarding that question, already you have selected those questions out of the 18 questions. First select the 50% questions. Yes, I have to attempt those 8 to 9 questions. Okay, those questions are there in my domain, and I know the concept regarding those questions very well, regarding if I compare with the rest of the questions actually. So definitely, guys, believe me, you are going to score more marks from the math section also, beta. Okay, now guys, after that, if I come to the next, from which section and from which part of the mathematics they are asking the mainly questions actually. So again, I will divide the maths types of question in our complete maths in 4 sections. Okay, like that. First, if I say is about the algebra portion. After that, Okay, after algebra we can come to the calculus portion. Okay, after the calculus I can come to the next coordinate geometry section, and after that trigonometric section, and if I come to the last section is 3D and vectors. 3D and vectors. Now guys, after that, if I talk how many questions they are asking from the various sections, first I start with the algebra only. In general, from the algebra section, they are asking 12 to 13 questions. That one is the normal trend, okay. I'm writing here, number of questions, what they are asking from the every. So in general, 12 to 13 questions they are asking from the algebra portion. Now again guys, believe me, this section is going to be some part of this section are very easy and some part are going to be typical for you. Like that, if I talk about the permutation combination, okay, that section is really going to be typical for the student. But if you talk about the the determinant section, matrices, quadratic equation, and the sequence series, and similarly binomial theorem, in general, okay, the similar type of question already they ask over the year. They are asking the similar type of question from those chapters. But you can see from the permutation combination and from the probability, okay, questions can be to the tougher side, and some time taking questions can be there. Again guys, if I talk about the probability also, don't compare the probability with the permutation and combination. Many times students observe ki yes, I'm weak in the permutation and combination, so I'm not going to be good in probability. Okay, both are the different one actually. You will say starting part of the probability is relevant to the counting problems. Those problems are relevant to the permutation and combination. And guys, you will observe hardly they are asking many questions from that section, especially from the probabilities. In probability chapter, mainly nowadays they are asking the problems from the conditional probability, and that one is the very, very important part of that chapter. So if you are strong in that section and you did the good practice in last 2 years, definitely you are going to solve the question of that chapter also, probability. And guys, observe every year from the probability also they are asking 3 to 4 questions. Okay, so in that manner we can categorize the algebra section. And for the determinant matrices, already I discussed similar type of question what they are asking earlier, they are asking from those chapters. Okay, so that section is going to be scoring for the student also. After that, if I come to the calculus portion, again if I talk how many questions they are asking from this section, in general again they are asking 12 to 13 questions from this section also. And in the calculus, if you start from the differential calculus, okay, function, so hardly they are asking the question direct from the function. After that, the limit, continuity, derivative. And every year they are asking the question from this section, limit, continuity, and derivability. And that one is a very important section, guys. So it's my session, focus on that part also. After that, the application of the derivative. Okay, that one is also the important part from where they are asking the questions. After that, if I come to the next indefinite integration and definite integration. Okay, they are not asking too many questions from the indefinite integration. Okay guys, indefinite integration, again it's a vast topic. Okay, lot of varieties of question can be there, and so mainly they are putting the question from the definite integral only. Okay, and in definite integral also they are putting the questions mainly which easily can be solved with the help of the properties mainly. Okay, so in calculus portion, you can focus on the properties of the definite integral, and whatever the practice you did earlier, that one is also going to be helpful for all of you. After that, they are asking the question from the area under that curve, and after that, differential equation also. So that one is the application of the integration also. So it's my session, focus on all those parts. Those parts are not very typical, and you will easily able to score from those sections also. Okay, after that, if I come to the coordinate geometry, again from the coordinate geometry you can see 4 to 5 questions. In general, 4 to 5 questions they are asking, and you will see hardly they are asking a question direct from the straight line chapter. Okay, from where our coordinate geometry starts. What they are doing, they are mixing the concept of the straight line chapter with the circles only. Okay, so whenever they are asking the question of the circle chapter, they are mixing the concept of the straight line chapter also. Okay, so again the straight line and circle both are going to be very, very important chapters. Okay, recall the concept of these two chapters. After that, if I come to the conic section, okay, so guys again you will see from the conic, okay, is not only focus on remembering and revising the various properties of the conic section, but guys again you will observe they are asking the question from the section tangent and normal, question of the chord, like that. From those sections only they are putting the questions in the JEE Advanced one. So focus on all these things also. okay, rather than putting too much emphasis on the properties of the various conics. Okay. After that, guys, if you come to the trigonometric section, again from the trigonometric section, guys, you can observe 2 to 3 questions. And in trigonometry, I will cover first is the compound angle, okay, then trigonometric equation, then the solution of the triangle, SOT. So in general, you will have one question from the compound section, compound angle, and you should remember all the formulas, because all the formulas of the trigonometry will be used in the other chapters also beta. So trigonometric section is also going to be very, very important for all of you. And after that, you can expect the question from the trigonometric equation also beta, and from SOT also, but it's not like that every year they are asking the question from the solution of triangle. So if you are not well prepared in that topic, you can skip that topic, okay. Otherwise, the rest two topics are you can do the question from the rest two topics. After that, if I come to the very, very important section, guys, that one is the 3D and vectors. Okay, that one is a very easy part of the maths, guys, and definitely very scoring area also, from where you can score the marks. Okay, so you can observe from the 3D and vectors, from this chapter, they are mainly asking 4 to 5 questions. And guys, believe me, especially for the 3D geometry or like that, okay, if you go on through the NCERT also, okay, definitely you will able to solve the question of those chapters. So it's my session, solve and revise the concept of both the chapters, vectors and 3D easily. From this section, you are going to score the marks beta. So that one is the classification of the maths, okay. So all those points you should keep in mind. And guys, we all are aware, we can't prepare the for JEE Advanced just in within a month or in few days only. Whatever the preparation you did from last 2 years is going to be useful for all of you. So just believe in yourself, okay, be confident, okay. Don't think like that, ki yes, every question of the math section is going to be typical. Yes, that one is the trend, and we have to accept the reality, guys. But again, from the trend, students are scoring the marks, guys. We are not here to attempt all the 100% paper, guys, not all the questions we have to do. We have to select the questions, okay, from which section we can score more marks. Like that, if you will attempt in math section, definitely, guys, you are going to score good marks from this section also.